Good evening, everyone. This is Mary Grace Cafe of BS Ed English Section M. Today, we are going to tackle about the three schools of thought in second language acquisition. These are behaviorism, cognitive, and constructivism. Before we start with our discussion, let's know first what was the school of thought known as. A school of thought is the perspective of a group of people who share common characteristics of opinion or outlook of a philosophy, discipline, beliefs, and any kinds of movement. The following are some of the major schools of thought that have influenced our knowledge and understanding of psychology. Behaviorism. Behaviorism became the dominant school of thought during the 1950s. It was based upon the work of thinkers such as John B. Watson, Ivan Pavlov, and B. F. Skinner. Behaviorism holds that all behavior can be explained by environmental causes rather than by internal forces. Behaviorism is focused on observable behavior. Theories of learning includes classical and operant conditioning, where the focus of a great deal of research. Classical conditioning involves associating an involuntary response and a stimulus, while operant conditioning is about associating a voluntary behavior and a consequence. In the classroom, motivation plays an important role in behavioral learning. Positive and negative reinforcements can be motivators for students. Repetition and positive reinforcement go hand in hand with the behavioral learning theory. Teachers often work to strike the right balance of repeating the situation, and the positive reinforcement come to show students why they should continue that behavior. For example, a student who receives praise, rewards, privileges for a good test score is much more likely to see a direct correlation to continuing excellence completely based on that response to a positive stimulus. And nowadays, punishments could involve a removal from class or group, a letter from home, confiscating things, or classroom service. Punishments work for instilling fear and aims to force students to conform and obey. The role of teachers is to help students find their own motivation to learn and behave in a socially acceptable manner. Cognitive. Cognitive psychology is the branch of psychology that studies mental processes, including how people think, perceive, remember, and learn. One of the most influential theories from this school of thought was the stages of cognitive development theory proposed by Jean Piaget. Cognitive learning is a way of learning that helps students use their brains more effectively. This method of learning is active, constructive, and long-lasting. It encourages students to fully engage in the learning process, so learning, thinking, and remembering get easier. It isn't about memorization or repetition. It's about developing true understanding. It's about learning how to learn. Examples of cognitive learning strategies include asking students to reflect on their experience, helping students find new solutions to problems, encouraging discussions about what is being taught, helping students explore and understand how they are connected, asking students to justify and explain their thinking, and using visualizations to improve students' understanding and recall. Constructivism. Constructivism is an approach to learning that holds people to actively construct or make their own knowledge, and that reality is determined by the experiences of the learner. The origin of theory is also linked to Jean Piaget's cognitive theory. The main activity in the constructivist classroom is solving problems. Students use inquiring methods to ask questions, investigate a topic, and use a variety of resources to find solutions and answers. Other things that can be applied in the classroom includes team working or collaboration, promote discussion or debates, peer learning, allocate a small proportion of grades for peer assessments, and train students in the process and criteria, and show students models of good practice in the essay writing and project work. Behaviorism. Teachers provide stimulation, identify errors in behavior, and construct rewards or punishments. Learners practice behavioral changes, accept repetition and conditioning, and trust experience process. Techniques are laboratories or experiments, and stimulations or trials. Factors are repetition may be boring, need to check for automized responses, and look for behavioral patterns. Cognitive. Teachers act as facilitators, consultant, identifying errors and beliefs and understanding, and develop process sequence of learning. Learners manipulate and reconstruct information, remain motivated, and remain open to new opportunities. Techniques are interactive stimulations, projects, and research purpose. Factors are learners must be open to being wrong, learners must learn limits, and teachers must identify prior knowledge. Constructivism. Teachers assist with identifying proper learning strategies, identifying errors in thinking, and order or sequence information. Learners manipulate information, ask questions, and remain open to new ways of thinking. Techniques are lectures, presentations, questioning, and research content. Factors are learner must remain engaged, and teachers need to open or anticipate material errors. Similarities of behaviorism. Behaviorism and constructivism are similar in that they both involve actions. Behaviorism is based on students modifying their actions on the predicted outcome. Constructivism is based on students performing actions so that the outcome is that they learn more effectively. Similarities of cognitivism. Cognitivism is similar to behaviorism because they both focus on environments. Cognitivism is a theory that students are able to learn more effectively when concepts are presented in a clear way, which involves the learning environment to be organized. Similarities of constructivism. Constructivism is similar to cognitivism because they both focus on meanings. Constructivism is based on interacting with the knowledge to develop meaning for it. Cognitivism is a theory that focuses on presenting information in a clear way so that students can have a better meaning for it. Before we end with our discussion, let me share to you Dr. Stephen D. Krashen's quote in which we acquire language when we understand messages, when we understand what people tell us, and when we understand what we read. Again, this is Mary Grace Cafe, and I hope that you learn so much things in this video. Thank you and more power.